Michael always knew he wanted to teach. Since childhood, when he played teacher with his younger siblings, he felt he was born to educate. At 22, diploma in hand, he was ready to change the world. One classroom at a time, he believed. Passion would be enough. That purpose would compensate for any financial struggle. After all, how hard can life be when you love what you do? But here's the brutal truth. Passion doesn't pay the electric bill. 13 years later, Michael would discover that the love for teaching doesn't pay the bills, and that dreams without financial planning can quietly turn into nightmares. The trap is silent. Michael was 35 and still believed teaching was more than a job. It was a calling. But with a $42,000 salary, every month felt like an invisible battle. He shaped the future of hundreds of students, yet his own future felt like it was falling apart. Bills arrived mercilessly. Rent increased every year. Student loans hung over his head like a shadow that never left. And every night, one question haunted him. How can someone who dedicates their life to educating others live with so much financial pressure? His routine was cruel. Wake up at 6 a.m., teach until 3 p.m., rush to his second job as a study monitor until 8 p.m. Weekends. Tutoring side gigs just to make ends meet. It felt like he lived to work and worked just to not be broke. $42,000 a year looked okay on paper. In practice, $3,500 a month, minus taxes, $2,800, minus rent of $1,200, $1,600 left. Minus car, gas, food, student loans, only constant anxiety remained. Balance, $247. He read it 3 times. As if the numbers would magically change, it was Thursday. 4 days left until payday. Ow. Once again, the credit card would be the solution. And the problem? Michael started to understand something terrifying. His teacher's salary wasn't getting smaller. Life was getting more expensive. And he was losing the race. He didn't dream of luxury. He dreamed of basics. Visiting family without worrying about tickets. Replacing the car that broke every month, one day buying a modest home. Small dreams. I felt like impossible mountains. Meanwhile, on Facebook, he saw college classmates posting pictures of trips to Europe, brand new cars, houses in gated communities. The silent question was always the same. What did I do wrong? The answer came one cold winter night when his heating bill was $50 higher than expected. Michael was broke. That sleepless night, he asked. The right question, not how can I earn more. But how are other teachers retiring early? 3 hours of research later, he discovered a revolutionary concept, stealth wealth. The idea of people who don't spend to look rich, but spend to become truly free. But what he did next, nobody expected. The first decision was the hardest. Sell the financed car. It was a 2018 Honda Civic, his little pride. The $380 monthly. Payment seemed reasonable at first, till he realized it was $4,560 a year, and just in payments. He sold it for $17,000, paid off the $14,000 loan, and kept $3,000 cash. With that money, he bought a 2009 Toyota Corolla outright. 15 years older, but 100% his. Handing over the key hurt. It felt like giving up on a dream. But driving home in that old car, he realized something magical. For the first time, I owe nothing for transportation. His coworkers noticed. Some asked if he was having financial problems. Michael smiled and said, "No, I'm going through changes." He didn't know it yet, but this would be the first of many. The second change was subtler. He stopped eating out. $15 a day didn't seem like much, but it was $300 a month. $3,600 a year. Started bringing his own lunch to school. Weekends changed too. Instead of restaurants and bars, he invited friends over for dinner. He discovered cooking was therapeutic and much cheaper. But what happened in month 3? Nobody expected. In the 3rd month, the impossible happened. He had $847 left at the end of the month. Michael stared at his bank statement as if it were magic. For the first time in 10 years, he had extra money. But temptation was real. $800 extra felt like an invitation to relax, to treat himself. Michael almost fell for the trap, till he remembered the bigger goal. With $1,000 saved in just 2 months, he faced the next challenge: investing. For someone who had always been in the red, the idea of risking money in stocks felt insane, and the next step, nobody expected, but he studied. He read about index funds, diversification, and long-term investing. He discovered the greatest risk wasn't investing, it was leaving money idle, losing to inflation. His first investment, $500 into an S&P 500 index fund. Michael pressed confirm and felt chills. It wasn't fear of losing money, it was fear of finally doing something right. For months, he checked his investments 5 times a day. He watched the numbers go up, down, and up again, till he finally understood he was playing a decades-long game. It's not a daily one, year one. Michael paid off $8,000 in credit card debt and invested $6,000. Year 2 cleared his $17,000 student loan and invested $9,000. Year 3, his net worth went from negative to $15,000 positive. Meanwhile, his colleagues stuck to the same routines, complaining about salaries, dreaming about raises, financing brand new cars. "If I could just make $50,000, my life would change," said Sarah, the teacher next door. Michael quietly smiled. He was changing his life with $42,000. By living on $40,000 and investing $2,000, the hardest part wasn't saving or investing. It was enduring the comments. "You're depriving yourself of life. Money is meant to be spent. You only live once." Michael had a silent answer. "Exactly. I only live once. I want to live free." 7 years later, Michael had $380,000 invested. Yeah, with a safe 4% annual return, that meant $1,267 a month in passive income. Not enough to retire fully, but enough to teach by choice, not by necessity. The transformation was more than numbers. Michael slept peacefully, woke up without anxiety, taught with even more passion because he wasn't desperate for the paycheck. He didn't have the nicest house in the neighborhood or the newest car on the block, but he had something 80% of Americans don't have: financial peace. He had discovered that luxury isn't being able to buy anything. It's not needing to buy anything to feel happy, Michael learned. There are 2 types of wealth: the one that screams and the one that whispers. The first you show off for others to see. The second you feel in the quiet of a heart, unafraid of tomorrow, today. When old colleagues ask about his secret, Michael simply says, "I stopped trying to look rich and started becoming free." Luxury screams, freedom whispers. 4. More real stories of financial transformation? Subscribe to the channel. While they scroll, you build your freedom.